the job and your bills was due?
I feel like that now. You reading me right now because every day I log in, it's like, okay, do I really want to do this? No. I'm like, he's sitting up here talking about
me. Man, I quit so many jobs and my bills was due. When I say due, I mean back due. That's why I can't work for nobody. I have to create something to make money. I have to, because I cannot work for anybody. It's like a, when I think about a job, it's like a disease. I'm like, I don't want that disease. Stay away from me. I don't want that disease. That's me personally. I'm not saying anything bad about working a job. If I had to go work a regular job right now, I would, to feed my family. I'm not saying nothing bad about it like that. But I'm just saying, and then I would pick a job that I like. I would pick a job that I like, that I love. But if it had to be a job that I didn't love, hey, it is what it is. But I would definitely pick a job that I love. Okay? Definitely. I love working with my hands, sports. So even if I was a janitor at a gym, I would do it just to be around athletes. You know, if I would be an apprentice to a carpenter if I had to, just to be around a carpenter or artist, so because I love anything that has to do with working with your hands and being art, I don't know the word to say, but just being creative and stuff like that. I love stuff like that. So but it comes a point in life where you realize this. You realize, I work for money, but this money shouldn't be just for me to pay bills. Just for me to survive. Like it should be a point you realize, hey, number one, whatever I'm working, whatever I get up every day and do, it should be to impact myself, my family, for a betterment. I shouldn't just get up and start cussing and start drinking and smoking and poisoning my body. I shouldn't just get up and just go to work and work a job that serves no purpose but to bring me money. Okay, and then I take that money and when I get paid that money, I literally just spend that money on stuff that brings me no purpose, on stuff that whatever I'm buying, it doesn't help me. It doesn't at the end of it, it doesn't help me, right? So you should tell yourself those two things. Your job, your work in life, because we all do need a work in life, which is your purpose, should serve you and the people around you and society, right? And then the money you make or the thing you create from that money plus the money. So it's three things, I guess. It's you personally, right? Because if I'm a carpenter and I'm talking to my customers, which I do all the time, I should be saying and doing things that positively impact their life, right? I had a lady tell me one time, oh, you're so wonderful because you come here and you just get to work. The other guy, he would just talk, 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 talk. And I was like, wow, I felt offended because if she only knew, if she gave me the cue, I would start talking and never stop, right? But I feel people out. If they talk to me, I talk to them. If they don't talk to me, I don't talk to them, right? I just come there and do my work, right? So sure enough, after she warmed up to me, she started talking, talking, talking. So I started talking back, but I'm working at the same time. And we talk about life and stuff like that. So I already knew in my mind, I'm impacting her life. She's impacting my life just by talking. Then I'm working on her house. I'm building a kitchen and I'm doing a work that, beautifying her home. So that's number two. Then she's paying me money. So the money I make, I know that I need to take that money and not just go buy drugs and alcohol, not go buy clothes that nobody cares that I'm wearing Louis, Gucci, Versace. I know when she pays me that money, I need to take that money and put that money somewhere that's going to actually impact my life positively, my family life, you know? So everybody here realize that. That's why you're here, for self-improvement. Okay, anytime we take classes like this, I take classes like this myself. And me and Emma, we in class all day, all yay. we constantly in courses, always in courses. We about to take another investment stock market class. We always in courses. We're students too, right? And some of you are teachers, right? So we're all students and teachers. So, but it's self-improvement. It's called self-improvement. We all know we need to improve somewhere in our lives and stuff like that, right? Anyhow, I just wanted, that was just my little rant for tonight. We're gonna get started in actual class. Um, so tonight, guys, I said we were gonna talk about land trusts, and we were gonna talk about the actual financing of land. Okay. Now, when I started this, everywhere I looked, everybody told me we cannot finance land. I need to have good credit, or I did run into a lot of owner financing at first, but they wanted 10, 20% down, stuff like that, right? Because when you immediately start looking for property, you go to like whatever the big thing is at the time. So at that time, we didn't have Zillow or Realtor.com or anything like that, but we did have the internet when I started. So I went to Google and I typed in land for sale. I typed in land for sale, and I did have enough sense or knew enough about real estate to type in owner finance and land, right? But the first things that was popping up was websites or people advertising land that they wanted 10, 20% down, like that, right? So, and I was going through that, oh my God, for months, if not a year or two. I can't even remember right now. But I was going through that for a long time. When I finally stumbled upon creative land financing, it was a while, okay? Because I literally did stumble upon it, right? And but I've always heard about creative finance, and we've all saw the infomercials and stuff late night, creative finance and no money down, all this stuff. We all saw it, right? But either can't figure it out or just think it's a scam, right? So um when I met the guy that told me yes, he would finance the land for me, and at that time he wanted I don't know, I don't remember what it was, but it was really cheap. It was like 1,000 or under. No, I think it was 350. Yeah, it was 350, because that's why I had the 350 when I went to Clewiston, Florida in the first place, because he was gonna finance me the land for 350 down. For 350 down, okay. The lady that I actually ended up buying land from wanted 1,200 down, and I told her, ma'am, I came here to buy the land from so and so, but he didn't. He don't have any more land, and I came here with 350, and she was like, okay, I'll do it, right? Why would she do that? Why would she go from 1,200 to 350? That's like a large difference, right? And I didn't even know at the time. I like it didn't come to me until 2021 why people kept financing me land. And I even have one seller right now. I could call him, and any land he have on his website, I don't care how much he want down, he would tell me Dragon, I'll send you the contract, just sign. I don't have to give him a penny. I just have to want the land and tell him when I could tell him, man, I'll start paying in 3 months. He'll say no problem, and he'll write it up that I start payments in 3 months. I'll tell him I just want the land. I mean, I could get the land. I could have an idea in my head. Dang, that's a perfect land. I know exactly what I'm gonna do with it. And I get the land on the contract, start making money on the land, and the money I make, I turn around and pay him. I could literally do that if I want to with him. So I'm paying him money that he could probably do for himself, but he's not in the business of renting out campsites or anything like that. He's strictly in the business of buying the land and selling it, owner financing, right? That's all he want to do. He don't want to do anything else, which I don't blame him, because I want to get to that point eventually too. But anyhow, so when I realized, dang, they're financing me land with no problem, even willing to finance me land with zero money, all because land is the one thing on this whole realm and this whole planet that's not movable. The earth is one piece connected to the core, and we can dig up the dirt all we want, but that land will always be there. That land will always be there. Okay? We can literally take where we live and get a bulldozer or some type of earth mover and dig all the way down. Okay? And not, let me turn this one off, so, and not still not remove the earth. I mean, we'll keep digging until we get to water, and then all we dug for ourselves was a giant pool. Okay? So no matter what we do to this earth, and then we could dig up the water, the pool, and then we'll probably get to the middle of the core of the earth, but again, all around us would still be earth, right? If we get down in that hole. So no matter what we do to this land, it's not going anywhere. Okay? And realistically, nobody does that. If you do that, you're doing that because you found oil or something in the earth, which what is going to make you money, or you're selling the dirt. I know a guy sells the dirt on his land to build a highway in Fayetteville. He's making a lot of money selling Fayetteville the dirt on his land. Okay? And as much dirt as they done dug up, his land is still there. For some reason, it's like they dig up the earth, they move it, and then they pat it down in a way that I think when they finish, he'll still have land there that he could build a house or sell it, whatever. The earth just replenishes itself. It's weird. I literally think dirt is like trees. It grows and replenishes itself. So when I realized land is the one thing that we literally cannot destroy, we cannot move, we cannot steal. You have to go to war. You have to go to war, or you have to steal land on paper. You have to. All wars, I don't care. Whatever war we at right now, Ukraine, Russia war that we was having, you know that what that was about? Land. Did y'all know that? That was about land. Okay? It was about land. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. All wars are bankers' wars about land, or the resources what in the land. When y'all watch Black Panther, what was Black Panther about? I'm not even gonna say it. What they wanted. The whole movie. The whole Black Panther movie was about them wanting the thing in the land. What they call it? The tribarium, huh? The vibranium. The whole movie was about them wanting the vibranium. You cannot get
resources.
Yeah. You couldn't get vibranium anywhere but there in the land. They're like, where do you get it? It's in the land. Hey, where do y'all get this vibranium from? It's in our land. Babe, watch this phone. If you see something pop up, like somebody trying to get in, just let them in.
Perfect example. That's the same thing what happened with Haiti. They caused that earthquake over there because it's rich over there in iridium.
Mm-hmm.
They caused that earthquake to happen in Haiti. Because they done moved them people off their land and over there raping the mountains of the iridium, the resources over there. So Black Panther was actually showing you what they were doing all over the earth, basically.
Yeah. Go ahead. You was gonna say something, Q?
I said part of the movie was filmed in Haiti too.
Yeah. At the end, I think the last Black Panther, you know, his son is in Haiti, you know. I think they was literally trying to show us Haiti, like what they're doing with Haiti. And it's known Haiti has the most resources either in, I wouldn't say the world because Africa does, but probably in the Western hemisphere. And that thing that you said, they have the most of it. Okay. So I'm telling you, it's all about land. Oh, thank you, HCCW, for saying vibranium.
What do you think about the land in North Carolina that they flooded out just recently with that heart system hurricane they caused to go up there? Now everybody found out that up there in those mountains, those are crystals up there. What do you think about purchasing land up there now?
Yeah, absolutely. That we were just talking about that. We going there next. We trying to get everything we can in North Carolina. I'm specifically zoned in on North Carolina. And be honest with you, everything on the East Coast. I'm specific. Now I got stuff out west and stuff like that, but I'm zoned in on North Carolina specifically.
I'm adding Alabama.
Yeah, I'm gonna add in Alabama. Somebody said, yeah, we specifically zone in on the East Coast. Here goes somebody here. They said, I did 150 down on 20 acres. It's possible. Yeah, it is. You know why? They don't care. They don't care. You give them money or not. It's land. You cannot possibly steal it. You said, want to say something, Miriam? I mean, Margaret, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say that land that just in the mountains. Is that what you're talking about, North Carolina?
Yes.
Yeah, lithium.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, remember that's sundowner land. Basically, they don't care for people of color there. Not that can stop you, but depending on what you plan to do with the land, you know, you got to keep in mind you're gonna live up there. You might have to live with those adversities if you're of color.
No, it's not gonna be to live there.
Sundowner towns.
It's not gonna be to live there. Personally, I love living near the water, so that's why every time y'all see me, or a lot of times y'all see me, I'm somewhere near the water. Yeah, we water people.
They do that to scare you off too, saying it's a sundown town. They do that to scare you off too.
Emma's saying that a lot of times they do that to scare us from buying over there, saying it's a sundown town, meaning like.
Well, it really is a sundown town.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it is, that's true. But I think what she's saying is that, you know, like basically we living in 2024, even though it is a sundown town, you know, on paper at least, you know, people of color can go anywhere, you know, by law. There's no more segregation by law, but obviously there is segregation in communities, you know, obviously, you know. So for example, if I actually did wanted to go there, I can go there by law, but once I get there, if I have a problem, then, you know, it is what it is, you know. But by law, I could go anywhere, you know, anybody can go anywhere, you know, by law. I think that's what she's trying to say. So they scare you. Oh, this is sundown. Don't come over here. We're going to handle you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for me personally, it wouldn't be to live. It would just be an investment for me personally.
Yeah, you go anywhere you want. I'm just saying, if you choose carefully where you want to live.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You can buy the land through your corporation. Nobody knows who you are.
Right, and we did that.
You can do what you want with it.
People of color, we've done that. We used to buy stuff all the time. There's a whole movie about it. I forgot the name of it. The guy bought a bank or something, a building, an apartment building, a black guy, but he used a white guy as a trustee. You know, my buddy Billy, where he lives, he bought his beach house because his wife is white. She's Caucasian, and she had to sign. And when he was outside one day, one of the white people that lived over there said, "Hey, aren't you supposed to be working?" He was out there standing in front of his house on the beach, and he said, "Oh, I don't think the owner would mind. I'm standing here." And then the person just walked away or whatever, and he went and told his wife. But yeah, I mean, we've always done that. We've lived in places that we had to put a white person in the front, you know, as they're the owner. For Billy, it's his wife. You know, for a lot of us, it's, you know, our trustee or our, you know, whoever, you know. Yeah, we've done it. It's not something that we've not done. But yeah. So I say all that to say about all wars are for the land, and that you cannot take the only way you can take land. You know, if I want to steal a car, I just break the window, rig it up, and I'm gone. Or back up a tow truck to it, and I'm gone. If I want to steal somebody's jewelry, I just shoot them or chop their hand or whatever, and just hold them at gunpoint and steal their money, their jewelry. If I want to take a house, I showed y'all videos of people literally moving buildings, apartment buildings. All right, I showed y'all videos of that. I'm gonna share screen and show you guys again for those of you that didn't see the video. So anything is movable on this whole planet except for the land that we all and it all sits on, right? So what we have to do now is realize that it's something about this land, okay? Moving buildings, or I should say towing building. You could take a whole building, okay? It's not how, it's just, okay, let me say, towing a house. It's not if it could be done. I found an excellent video on it. Oh, if I could find it again. Like a real house, like a brick house. Well, let me type that in. Here we go. I know a lot of y'all didn't know this. Did y'all know you could take a whole house? You see that house? Can y'all see that? It's showing on there. Y'all see them moving that house? That's amazing, right? So anything can be taken, stolen. Okay, the trees. It's not showing anymore. Can y'all see that or no? They might have kicked me out. It kicks me out sometimes. They kicked me out. But did y'all see that? Did y'all see them moving the house?
Yes.
Okay. So anything can be moved on this earth. Anything, right? So that's why it's so easy for us to get financing for land. It's actually easy. All this 20% down, 10% down, it's BS. That's what the owner wants. All we have to do is find an owner that doesn't care. He doesn't want, he don't care how much down. He or she, they don't care. Okay? Not only our owner or somebody to finance us that don't care. A bank, a private person to finance us that don't care. Okay? Now we have those people. We have people that the list that you guys have of owner finance companies, those people in there, if you find the land, they will fund it. They will fund it, okay, for you. If you have a land that's not on their website, but you found something and the numbers make sense. Remember last class we talked about the numbers have to make sense, and the numbers make sense for them, they will fund it. What I mean by numbers make sense, if you found a piece of land that's 100,000, but you could buy it for 30, 40, 50,000. And you say, hey, can you buy this land for me and I'll pay you back? They'll do it. Mind you, they're gonna charge you high interest, okay, but and fees and stuff like that. But it can be done. Why? They don't care. They're not gonna ask you. The point is, they're not gonna ask you for. Emma, did Jake ask you for your social security?
No.
Did he even ask you if you have a job?
No.
Did he even ask for your ID?
No, he didn't.
Nothing. All he wanted was the address of the property, where to send the money to the seller, which was the county in this example, and that was it. And then he sent us over the contract that he paid for it and everything. We confirmed it, and now we just got to pay him back. Okay, now, if it was a house, he was financing us. He would want our social security numbers, 2 years working history, W-2s, inspection of the house, appraisal of the house. We would have to bend over backwards and a million things because there's a house on it. It's a liability on it. It's something on it that we can pay somebody probably $10,000 to pick up and move. Next thing you know, he go out there, the whole house is gone. Or we could burn down the house. Okay? So that's why I tell you guys, when people say, don't buy a house, it's a liability, they're true. And when people, it's true. And when people say, buy a house, buy a property, I should say, buy a property, it's the best asset. That's also true. The thing is, the property itself, the land is the asset. The house on the land is the liability, because the house requires what? Maintenance, insurance, money. We're always doing what with our house? Spending money. But the land, we don't do nothing. We might cut the grass. That's it. We put some gas in the lawnmower and go cut the grass. What'd that cost us? $50 or $100, depending on how much acres you got. $100 an acre, huh?
The clearing was more expensive.
Yeah. We spent more money clearing the land, about $600, than actually buying the property, putting down on the property. Okay? I'm telling you guys, land is the one thing you can finance, no problem. Okay? Now, one of the reasons why you can, or how you can find a property and get a hard money lender, they call it a hard, and we'll have a whole class about that one day, hard money lending and private lending, right? The reason why you could find somebody to fund your project is the same thing what I just said. If you have built-in equity, you find a raggedy property, it's worth fixed up, it's worth 300,000, but you can buy it for 30,000, and you can fix it up for 70,000, and then sell it for 300,000. It don't matter your credit. It don't matter your income. It don't matter anything. Any savvy investor will fund your project. Anyone. They don't care if you pay them back or not. Matter of fact, they praying you don't pay them back. They praying you just brought this deal to them, and now they can buy it, fix it up, and sell it themselves. They're praying you don't pay them back. They charge you so many fees and stuff like that. These hard money lenders, they're praying you don't pay them back. Did y'all know that? Did you even know at a certain point of you paying off your house, the banks are praying you don't even pay them back? They're praying you don't. Okay? So they can get the house, you foreclose, they get the house back, they fix it up, and they sell it to somebody else. All right? I know because I used to sell cars. It's the same thing. When I sold cars and I would finance people cars, and after they paid me a certain amount of money, especially they put down a large down payment, I'm like, please don't make them make a payment. I remember one time a dude, he bought a Toyota from me, a young guy, and I think it was like $5,000 car. He put down like 3,000. I'm like, watch this dude don't make one payment. Sure enough, he made one payment. I didn't have a choice. I waited 3 months. I didn't even, because I was like, it's a young guy, whatever. All I did was make sure he was paying his insurance. That's all I did. I made sure, because I was actually in communication with his mom, right? And she's like, she's not going to pay it because she already told him not to buy that car. And she told me just be patient with him. I waited 3 months. Okay. I could have snatched the car up 5-10 days after that first month. I waited 3 months. He never paid. I went and got the car and sold it again. I sold that same car, I think, 3 times. And I think I only had $2,000 in the car. I think I sold it 3 times. Okay? This is what happens all the time. We've all gotten cars repoed. In my life, I had 2 cars repoed myself. Okay? And this is before I started selling cars. That's when I was 17. I had brought a brand new car off the showroom floor. I had it repoed 6 months later. And when I was 20, I had a Suzuki. The fuel pump went out. I couldn't figure it out. And I just said, forget it. I put down 1,000, 1,200, something like that. And I just let them come get it. And when I was 21, I started selling cars. I'm like, man, this is the business right here. Okay. So I'm telling you guys, when it comes to financing stuff, they pray you don't pay. That's the whole game. Even with furniture, you do Aaron's rent to own furniture. You're renting furniture. The best business is a rental business. Whether you're renting out furniture, a house, a car, a space, anything you can rent. Remember, you're making money on that thing forever. Okay? You're making money on that thing forever. As long as that thing is optable, like the car is optable, the house is livable, you're making on that money on that thing forever. Okay? So always know that. Always keep that in mind. When it comes to land, You don't have to have any credit, any collateral. Anybody tells you you need credit, you need collateral other than the land is its own collateral. Just move on. Find another piece of land, find another lender. If the landowner themselves won't self-owner finance to you, and you have to find somebody else to fund the project or buy the land for you, find another lender. They are not savvy enough. They're trying to scam you. You do not need to show them any credit score, barely any identification, anything like that. Okay? They don't have to repo the land. Land is not something you can repo. Land is something you do what? Evict people from. Y'all realize that? Can you evict somebody from a car? No. From a ring, from anything else you buy, you cannot evict land. Land you have to evict. You have to remove the person from it. Everything else you could remove from the person. I could remove your furniture. I could remove your ring. I could remove even the house. Okay? When they put a single wide house on the land and you don't pay for it, they come pick it up. When you put an RV on your land, you don't pay for it, they come pick it up. Somebody just posted something in a group. I couldn't even read it. Yeah. Okay. So that's my other point. I haven't talked about it in a while, but I told you guys, this is why I wanted everybody to have land and buy land through the list of sellers that I provided to you guys. Okay, those who are interested in purchasing land that way, is because I told you guys, build a relationship with these sellers. Make your payments on time. Your network is your net worth. All these sellers I provided to you are millionaires. They have excellent credit. That's another thing. They're not even using their money. No bank uses its own money. Banks use your money and other banks' money. Banks lend money to each other. Okay? What they do is they borrow money at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% and lend it to you at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18, 25%. Your credit card company, they're not using their money. American Express, Visa, whatever, they borrow the money at 3 and 5%, okay? And then sell the money to you at 8, 9, 10, 25. Credit cards are like 25, 30%. That is what they do. They're not going in their personal pocket, giving you $5,000 to go buy a washer and dryer and hoping you'll pay them back. No. Bank of America call Wachovia or whatever bank and say, hey, send me over $5,000 so I can loan it to Quentin. Well, they don't say so I can loan it to Quentin, but send me over $5,000. Then they loan it to Quentin. Okay, and then as Quentin paying them back, then they pay back. Okay, if Quentin stopped paying, then theoretically they're supposed to stop paying their thing. But guess what? It's a write-off for them, and it's a write-off for whoever had the money in the first place. And whoever had the money in the first place, it wasn't even their money. It's the depositor's money. Everybody depositing money into that bank is really the owner, So if you guys don't know, when you deposit $10 in a bank, they only keep $1, and the other $9 they could loan it out times 10, I believe it is. So for every $10 you deposit, they could loan out $100. Okay? They could loan out $100 and keep $1 in there in the bank for if you come back. That's how this society works. That's how it works. Okay? But they don't want you to learn about the land. They don't want you buying the land. They want you buying the liability that goes on the land, like the house. And they want you to pay for it for what? 30 years. Because in 30 years, you bought one house and bought them two houses. The only way to really win in buying a house is hopefully you bought the house somewhere that the land goes up in value expeditiously. Okay? Or you buy the house cheap enough that you could rehab it, fix it up, and sell it. Okay? If you sit there 30 years, 40 years, 50 years and pay off a house and turn around, sell the house, you still make money on the house, but if you wait that long, you're either going to make a lot of money on the house, okay, or a little bit of money on the house. You're going to make money on the house, but you're either going to make a lot of money on the house or a little bit of money, okay? Like Rwanda, if her mom bought a house for $12,000, 50 years later it sold for $500,000 because her mom brought in the right place. My parents also own their house in the same place. But for example, if her mom had bought in the middle of the desert somewhere where there's nothing around, paid the same $12,000, 50 years later, it would probably still be worth $12,000. Y'all follow what I just said? That's why they say location, location, location. Okay? So that's why land and property that I own, I'm not looking to build anything on it. Okay? I'm not looking to build anything on it. I'm looking to just keep the land. I'm going to let somebody else build first. Whoever build first, that's who start the I forget the word, but that's who basically starts the equity going up in the area, but they're taking the risk. They're taking the biggest risk. Okay? Because they might build something out there and nothing happens. They've built a lot of communities. Have y'all ever seen a community, a whole scheme of buildings go up, houses go up, and nobody bought one? Or people bought them and then moved out? It's happened before. Maybe not like close to the city or anything like that, because anything close to a major city is going to sell out. But they've built stuff way out and stuff like that, and nobody shows up. It's happened before. Okay? So, but the idea is you could lose on the house, but you could never lose on the land. I could buy a piece of land and hold it for 5, 10, 100 years, and I'm not going to lose. It's still a piece of the earth. It's still land. The only way I could lose is if it get flooded, and even if it get flooded, I'll turn it into a lake. Go out there and charge people to go out there on their boat. You know, if it's inland, you know. But land is one of those things that you just cannot lose. All right. Now, obviously, you buy a house on the inner city or close to the city, you're going to win. Like I say, you're going to win. But if you buy the house way out, okay, too far out, that development's not coming fast enough, make sure you're buying a house for your personal memories and family. Okay? because that's not guaranteed. Okay. Now, if you buy some land, 20 acres, 30 acres, a lot of acres, way far out, you don't have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. For example, I go buy 1 acre, 10 acres, 20. I mean, what we just bought, 1 acre. If we put a mansion on the house right now, probably a year, 5 years from now, we probably break even because nothing's out there. Okay, nothing's out there. Now, once developments start coming out there, and then we'll make money. We'll make a lot of money on it. All right, but that's not our strategy. Our strategy for it is, we're gonna make money off the land itself, not whatever we build on the land. We're gonna make money on the land itself. Okay. So always remember, don't, even last class I said it, don't think about will this land, is this land a good deal or a bad deal? Always think about the numbers. Does it make sense? Does the numbers make sense? Does everything has to make sense in the deal to get financing? Okay? Everything has to make sense in a deal to get financing. So 9 times out of 10, if you buy 20 acres out in the desert or something that's nothing going on out there, we just had a guy call us. He's like, hey, we want to loan you some money. I'm like, okay, I buy properties in the country. He's like, oh, this might not work. Didn't he tell us that, Shirley? He told me, oh, this might not be a good fit, because lenders are looking for people that rehab properties close to the city, suburban areas. They're not looking to lend money to a guy like me that buy land. Okay. People that lend money to me that buy land, they specifically lend money to people that buy land. Okay. So there's a group of people that specifically lend to people that buy land, but most bankers and lenders, they lend to people that buy houses, but houses close to other houses. Okay, close to other houses. All right. And he told us specifically, if you're not gonna borrow $100,000 from us, well, he said we have to purchase the house for $100,000, then borrow more money to rehab the house. Okay, because the bigger the number, the more interest they could make. All right, the more interest they could make. So you look at everything. You're looking at everything. There's so many things to look at with property, land, real estate. It's ridiculous. That's why I make this a lifetime membership, because nobody can teach you everything in one course or 1 month or 1 year. Okay, you're gonna keep buying courses, you're gonna keep paying them a monthly fee forever. I always said when I start doing this, I'm not gonna do that, because that was my struggle. I bought this guy's course, that guy's course, then I gotta keep paying them money and upgrading this. I'm like, no. As I learn, as I get information, my students gonna learn and get information, and we're gonna share the information with each other. I said, when I do this, when I become the teacher, when the student become the teacher, I'm gonna make it lifetime, because it's a never ending thing in real estate. Never ending. You cannot learn fast enough. Some of you are a realtor. I don't know if the person want to say, some of you are in the business, and you learn from me and I learn from you, because it's never ending. You just not gonna learn everything. You're not. It's kind of like law. When you're a lawyer, a doctor even, you will never know everything. How many ever knew a doctor that they knew more than a doctor, or a lawyer they knew more than a lawyer? Even a teacher going up in high school, you know more than your teacher. In life, pick any subject, math, science, it's never ending. Nobody knows everything. Okay? Nobody knows everything. All right? So that's how you get financing. You have to have a deal that makes sense. You have to have a deal that everything makes sense in it. And anybody will fund you without credit, without you having a job, without anything. Okay? And you have, again, people that specifically fund land and people that specifically fund houses and big projects, okay? And stuff like that. So you have to just know what you want to do in this space, what you're comfortable doing in this space. Personally, I'm comfortable buying up land, renting it out to campers, and people want to store stuff, you know, whatever they want to store on the land, and stuff like that. Okay, that's my niche. Somebody else want to buy land to build houses, or somebody just wants to buy houses. Okay, you want to buy houses to flip, you want to buy houses to rent out. There's so many niches in real estate, it's ridiculous. Peter said, how do you estimate the value of raw land when you're buying? How do you know if it's a good price? You have to do what's called a price comparison. Okay, so you have to look at other land in the area that sold recently, the most recent. Okay, and then whatever that land sold for, and depending on the position of the land you wanted to buy, that's the price that you can ask. Now remember, that's a wonderful question. Remember, you have three prices. You have the taxable price, okay, which they come up with what they can tax you on for your land, your property, based on square footage of whatever dwelling or building on the property, okay? And the taxable, and mostly on that. So I could have a raw piece of land, 1 acre. My neighbor could have a raw piece of land, 1 acre, but they have a house on the land. I'm gonna pay less taxes because I have 0 square footage of building on my land. They're gonna come out there, measure the house, and charge them X amount per square footage for the house or the building, a commercial building, whatever's there, and charge them according to that. So that's how they charge. Okay, they have a base amount for just the land, and then they add to it based on every building on the land, right? So that what you pay in taxes on your property or your land has nothing to do with the value. It really doesn't. Like, supposedly it does, but it doesn't. Okay, that's for them to collect taxes, because you're gonna pay those taxes whether you can sell your property for $10 or $1 million. You're gonna pay some taxes. They don't care what you sell your property for. Okay, then you have your appraisal value of the land, of the property. The appraisal is when they come in and they look at what other properties in the area sold for recently, similar properties to yours that sold recently. Then they do an average, and then they say, okay, this property is worth this. Now at this point, in January 2025, I'm an appraiser. I come out here, you want me to appraise your property, or I'm the county appraiser. I appraise this property at $20,000 because a property similar to yours in the neighborhood just sold for 20,000. Okay? Or a property similar to yours but doesn't have any trees on it just sold for 30,000, but your property has trees on it and it has to be cleared, and I know to clear that land it's going to cost 10,000, so I'm going to appraise your property at 20,000 even though I appraise that other property at 30,000 because that property over there is cleared, yours is not. That makes sense? Anybody have a question about that? Everybody follow that what I just said? All right, any questions what I just said? No? Okay, now what I did with my mic? Oh, it fell. Oh, so now the third value is called a market value. A market value. A market value is somebody come in and whatever it's worth to them, they are willing to pay, they pay. For example, you selling your property for 100,000. Somebody say, I'll give you 110. Somebody else say, I'll give you 200. Somebody say, I'll give you 210. The market is saying what it's going to pay for your property. Or it could go the opposite. You want 100,000 and somebody say, oh, it's only worth 80. Somebody says it's only worth 40. It could go either way. The market is saying what it's going to pay for your property. Okay? So you always have three values on property. All right, Peter say they got to look far out because I don't see that money sales happening in the rural, more affordable areas. Yeah, I mean, they don't have to look far out. They just look at the area and the most recent sales, and if you're literally way in the middle of the somewhere that there's nothing for like 50 miles, okay, which is rare, you're gonna at least have something within 20 miles, okay, definitely within 20 miles you're gonna come upon a gas station or something, right? So, and they'll look at the value of the land on a gas station, right? But anyhow, let's just say you buy some land or you're looking at some land in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing for 50 miles. They'll just look at the highway, how much traffic. That's another way they find a value. They look at how much traffic is out there. So if there's a lot of traffic coming out there, it's gonna appraise higher. If there's nothing, no traffic, nothing, then it'll appraise lower. There are places you can buy land for free, for zero. Like they will give you the land, give it to you. Okay, there are places like that, and then they'll give it to you, and then they'll charge you taxes because they want to collect tax money. You can go to a lot of counties in the middle of nowhere and say, hey, does the county have any land for free that they giving away? And they'll say, oh yeah, we got some land over there. And say what you want it for, or they'll ask you what you want it for, but they'll say we only give it to you if you're gonna build a house. Like we've all seen those websites and stuff like that, or those YouTube videos where they'll give you land. They will give you land, but you have to build a house or rebuild the house. Okay, or you have to farm it. Yeah, but you have to do something. They're not going to give it to you and you just not do anything with it. Yeah, you have to do something with it. And they look at your money situation, so they make sure you're able to build something on it. They're not going to just give it to you and you don't have the money to build anything on it. So the stipulation is you know, they want people to come in and vitalize or revitalize the town, you know, or the area. You know, that's a stipulation, you know. And then Margaret posted something in a group, in a Telegram group that I love. Thank you for that, Margaret. Where you can let me play that. If I get kicked off, I'll come back on. Where you can buy a house for $100 down, and it's a HUD house type of situation. Is it sharing? Oh, hold on. Oh, and I don't have it on this phone. God. Okay, never mind. But those of you in the Telegram group, make sure y'all go back and watch that video. I don't have Facebook on this phone that I'm teaching on, but y'all go back and watch that video. So, but y'all, I don't know if y'all familiar with HUD housing. So you still have to qualify, even though it's $100 down, $0 down. You still have to have a certain credit score, you know, W-2 for a couple years or whatever, certain income. You still have to meet a criteria, okay, with HUD housing, okay. With what I do, you don't. The only thing you need is money. That's all they're looking for is money. You don't have to have. You could be fresh out of prison. They don't care what. Okay, as long as you got some money and it's land, it's not a house, it's not a car, it's not the trees on the land. As long as you're buying the land, okay, we can negotiate. We can get funding. We can educate people to owner finance it to us. Okay, we can do that. All right. Peter say, we got that right here in Milwaukee in the hood. Tore up house for like 10,000, and they give you 10,000 as long as you fix it up in 3 years. Yeah, people. There's a lot in Detroit. They'll give you a house. They will give you a house. Okay, but you have to fit the criteria. You have to have money. You know, even Africa, they're giving away a lot of land in Africa, but you have to show that you have $10,000 or $100,000 in a bank. You know, you have to show that you have money to come in and develop and stuff like that. All right. So, any questions on what we spoke about so far? Any questions? Any questions on what we've spoken about so far? Any comments? Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Okay. So now we're gonna go into trust. Once we found the land, once we picked out a land, okay, we put our land in a trust. Okay, we put our land in a trust. Why do we put our property or our land in a trust? Okay, because we don't want anybody to know that we are the owners. Why? If people know we are the owners, they can sue us. They can sue us. All right. But if they don't know who the owner is, how do they know who to sue? How? Okay. How do they know who to sue? They're gonna have to go hire a private investigator and have a conversation with their bank account. If they want to go hire a private investigator and go through all the twists and turns to to figure out if they want to sue us or not. So what a trust is something like a LLC or something like that. It's very similar, but it's private. It's a private thing. A LLC, a corporation is a public thing, okay? But a trust is a private private entity. They're all entities, but a trust is a private entity. So a trust is a contract that you set up and you put somebody as what's called a trustee. Okay? And this person or entity is going to be listed as the owner. Okay? And then you're going to have a contract called a trust document between yourself, the rightful owner or the grantor, and the trustee, who's the representative of the trust. You're going to have a contract with them saying that, hey, basically, you're my trustee. Okay? You don't actually own the property, but you are going to be listed as the trustee of the owner of the property. And the owner of the property is the trust. The owner of the property is the trust. Now, let me back up a little bit. The system looks at everything as an entity. An entity. You are an entity, even though you're alive, living, breathing, individual person, human, however you want to call it. They look at you as an entity. They look at you like an LLC. They look at you like a corporation. That's why when you die, they call it a corpse, a dead corpse. You're a dead corporation. Okay? Everything is an entity in the system. Even you. You're no different than an LLC, a S Corp, a C Corp. Okay? So when you buy a house, when you buy a property, even on your driver's license, all your documents, your name is in all caps, all capital letters. Just like a corporation, the name is in all capital letters. This represents an entity. They don't put your name in all capital letters on your driver's license by accident. It's on purpose because you're looked at as an entity. Okay, you're looked at as an entity. All right. Everything is an entity. So a trust is an entity. So just like you can own property, a LLC can own property, a trust can own property. Everybody follow what I just said. As long as you are an entity, you can own property. That's a bar. As long as you are an entity, you can own property. So you can own the property in your government name. You can own the property in your LLC name, your S Corp name, your C Corp name, or you can own your property in what's called your land trust name. Okay? All right? So we own properties in our land trust name because we don't want anybody to know we own it. If we own it in our LLC, anybody can look up the LLC, the C Corp, the S Corp, and see who are the agents of that LLC and just follow the money. Okay? But when you own it in a trust, it's a private document that only the trustee and the beneficiaries and grantor knows who's the owner of that trust. Okay? All right? It's completely legal. It's been used forever. Okay, you can YouTube it, Google it. This is how we own properties in a trust. All right. Now, it's as simple as finding a trust on the internet, a blueprint or a template, and reading it and putting your information in, finding a trustee. You do have to pay your trustee a consideration for it to really be legal and binding, $100, $200 at least, and execute the trust that way. I recommend you get a lawyer, an attorney, okay, at the end of the day, to make sure it's executed properly, okay. Even if I do your trust for you or with you or teach you your trust, at the end of the day, you're responsible to make sure everything in the trust is executed properly. Okay? It's your trust. All right? Now that we know what a trust is, what is in a trust? What is written in it? What is in it? Okay? What is in it? All right? I'm gonna start sharing screen here. Now we already in class, we already went through some of it. And if you've been with me over 6 months, you've probably already been through why is this not showing, babe? The trust the due diligence questions showing, but the trust documents not showing.
Let me look them up.
Or we have any printed out anywhere?
Yeah. I have one.
All right, give it to him. All right, so I'm gonna read a trust for you. It's something we might have to repost the trust docs in the Telegram group. We might have to repost it.
It's not pinned.
Huh?
It's not pinned.
Yeah, it's not pinned anymore. It's just the due diligence questions. All right, so this is a land trust. Okay. It's just paper. It's like anything else. It's like your when you buy a car, they write you up a bunch of paper. It's like when you buy a house, they write you up a bunch of paper. When you have a corporation, they give you a bunch of paper. Everything is just paper. When you go to court, they give you a bunch of paper. Everything is just paper. All right. In the paper for the land trust, you have to have a property, obviously. Okay. So you are gonna have the property address, and you're also gonna have what's called a property APN number or parcel number. Okay. You're gonna have a trustee. The trustee represents the trust. Yes, you can be your own trustee. Yes, you can have multiple trustees. Okay. You are going to have the grantor. The grantor is the one that is granting the trust ownership. Okay. And then you're going to have the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries are everybody that can benefit from the trust. or from the property. So if I'm a beneficiary of the trust, I can go enjoy the property. I can live on the property. I can do whatever the trust tell me I can do on the property. Okay. Without being the owner, the quote unquote owner of the property. Okay. Even though we know the beneficiaries are the owners of the property, right? But um it's not legally the beneficiaries in the public, okay, are not the owner. Okay. All right. So, and stop me, you guys stop me if you have any questions or comments. Okay. So now, the trust reads as this. Okay. Trust agreement made this blank day of blank month of blank year. Okay. Then you put the name of your trust. The name of your trust could be any name. It could be 123 Main Street Trust. It could be Red Apple Trust. It could be I Love My Mama Trust. Whatever name you want to put as a name of your trust, okay, you can put. Okay. It's just like a corporation, just like you can have any name. Your mama could name you, Bootylicious. Okay. Juicy. There's a name brand called Juicy. All right. A name is a name, is a name. All right. So you can have any name. I'm gonna just scan over this, okay, and get to the important stuff real quick. All right. So your address, all that wonderful stuff going there. Declaration. All right. What's called a declaration. Declaration of the trust created by the grantors herein shall be known as blah 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 trust. Okay. Hereinafter refers to as the trust. So now as you go into the body of it, it's just going to be referred to as the trust. Okay. The beneficiaries are about to convey or cause to be conveyed to the trustee by deed, meaning the beneficiaries are about to convey or transfer the ownership to the land trust, okay? And the land trust is going to be conveyed through the trustee. So the land trust is going to be able to do what it needs to do through the trustee, okay, by deed. So the person who's going to be on the deed is going to be the trustee. And a trustee, again, could be an entity. Long as it's an entity, it could be a human, a living, breathing human. It could be an LLC. It could be a lawyer, your lawyer's firm. Okay. Remember, entities. Think entities. I know when we think of an entity, we think of a corporation. You are an entity. A trust is an entity. A corporation is an entity. All right. The property described in the attached Exhibit A, which said property shall be held by trustee in trust for the following uses and purposes under the terms of this agreement and shall be hereinafter referred to as trust property. Purpose of trust. The purpose of this trust shall be hold title to the trust property and to protect and conserve it until its sale or other disposition of liquidation. So The trust is set up in a way that it's going to be what it's going to be until it's sold or somebody disposition in the trust changes, meaning you want to change a trustee or trustees, the grantor or grantors, the beneficiary or beneficiaries. All that could be changed. All right. Okay, I could skip over that. Consideration. Okay, let's go to number 4. Consideration. No consideration was paid to the trustee for the conveyance of property description herein. The conveyance will be accepted and held by the trustee subject to all existing liens, encumbrances, easements, restrictions, or other clouds or claims against the title hereto, whether the same or recorded or otherwise. The property will be held on trust. Okay. So no consideration was paid by the trustee. So the trustee didn't actually pay any money for the property, basically. All right. No consideration was paid by the trustee. Okay. The conveyance will be accepted and held by the trustee subject to all existing liens. Okay. It will be held by the trustee, but it wasn't paid by the trustee. All right. So it's things like this that's in a trust. All right. Duties and interests of beneficiaries. The person's name in the attached exhibit B are the beneficiaries of the trust and such and as such shall be entitled to all earnings. So it's telling you right there, any monies made by the property for the property, it will be given to the beneficiaries. It will be given to the beneficiaries, not the trustee. All right. The interests of the beneficiaries shall consist solely of the following rights respecting the trust property: the right to direct trustee to convey or otherwise deal with title to trust property as hereinafter. That's basically saying the beneficiary can move the trustee around like a pawn. Okay? The trustee could move, the beneficiary or beneficiaries can move the trustee around like a pawn. Okay? So this is the type of stuff that's in here. Okay? To get you guys an idea. It's literally paperwork. Let me just make sure it's not personal on here. It's literally paperwork that's telling you, or that has in it, everything that needs to be said about everybody's position in this contract. So everybody has a position in this contract, and it's telling everybody's position. Does that make sense? Anybody have a question so far? All right. All right. Let me see something else here. Let's jump to 6. Powers and duties of trustee. The trustee shall not record this agreement or name of any of the beneficiaries in any place of public record. So it's specifically saying that the trustee cannot divulge who the beneficiaries are. Y'all get it now? Nowhere on public record. Once the trustee signs this, the beneficiaries, the grantor signs this, this is a private document. Okay? This is a private document. Nowhere in the public, the beneficiaries can be talked about, discussed, or recorded. All right. So nobody knows who's the rightful owner. All right. Or the identity of the beneficiaries unless ordered as a matter of law. So until something comes up where the law has to be involved, the trustee can never divulge who the beneficiaries are. Okay. And for the law to get involved and a judge to order the trustee to give up who the beneficiaries are, you know, it's kind of like the judge have to give a warrant. You know what I'm saying? Have to give a warrant. And for judges to give a warrant, you know, it takes a lot. It takes a lot, right? Let's go. Issues. Then it talks about, you know, the money thing, the payments. If any money's to be paid out, you know, the beneficiary is gonna take care of that. Any money collected, the beneficiary is gonna collect that. If the property is being rented, the beneficiary is gonna collect the rent. Anything need to be built, tear down, all of that, the beneficiaries take care of all of that. Any taxes, any brokers, anything like that, the beneficiary is going to take care of all of that. The trustee don't have to worry about any of that. Any furnishings, okay, the beneficiaries take care of all of that. Okay. The only job of the trustee is to be a representative. Okay, number 8, liability of the trustee. The trustee and his successor as trustee shall not be required to give a bond, so they don't have to be bonded, and each trustee shall be liable only for his own actions and then only as a result of his gross negligence. So if a trustee is negligent or goes rogue, they're only responsible for their actions. Okay? If the beneficiary tells the trustee to do this or do that and things don't work out, the trustee is not liable. They're just doing what they were told. But if the trustee goes rogue and do something on their own, then they're liable. Okay? The trustee is merely an employee of the trust. Okay. And it talks about you can fire the trustee, get a new trustee. All right. So that's basically what's in this document. Okay. This particular trust we have has 14 pages. Okay.
Dragon, did you say the trustee's name is not known as well? The whole document is private.
No, the trustee's name is known. The trustee's name is known. It is known. Whether it's a person or an entity or business, it's known. the beneficiaries are not known. The grantors are not known. Only the name of the trustee and the name of the trust. Those are the only two things known in the public.
So if I made myself the trustee, that wouldn't be a smart thing to do, because then my name is known, or that's just...
No, you can.
It's not saying you own it. It just says you're the trustee.
Correct. It's not necessarily saying you own it. If the beneficiary and the trustee is the same person, it's not saying you own it. It's just saying you're the beneficiary. You go to court, the judge say, "Who are you?" I'm just a trustee. I'm just a trustee. The judge is gonna say, "Okay, you're dismissed. You're just an employee. What are you doing here?" Okay. So then it's kind of like, say, the police want to go in because they know it's drugs in there. You guys watch these crime shows, right? The police goes to the judge and say, "Hey, we need to go in there. There's drugs in there." The judge is gonna say, "What's your probable cause? Why do we need to go in there? What's your proof? What's your proof that we need to go in there?" Right? The same thing the judge is gonna say to whoever is trying to sue the trust. What's your proof that you need to sue this trust? Why do you need to sue this trust so badly? Because if the judge make a wrong decision and force the trustee to give up the beneficiaries, the judge is liable. The judge is liable. They could lose the case. Just like if the judge gives a warrant to go inside somebody's house or property and there's no drugs there, it's the wrong house, the judge is liable. The system is liable. Okay. Let me see another example. Okay, for example, we've all been to a store and there's a store manager. That's all a trustee is. But sometimes a store manager is really the owner acting like the store manager, even though they are the store manager. Or y'all have worked for somebody and they say, "Hey, if anybody asks, I'm just the store manager. Don't say I'm the owner." Y'all ever worked for somebody like that or been that person or known anybody like that? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. All right. So if you put yourself as a trustee, you're basically saying to yourself, "Hey, I'm just a trustee." Anybody comes into your store and you say you're just a manager, they can't say, "Go find the owner." I mean, they could say it, but you could easily say, "Well, the owner's not here," and you're not lying because you're the owner, but you're also the manager. Okay. And in the capacity you are at the moment, you're the manager. You're not the owner. So you go to court in that capacity, you're the trustee. You're not the owner. Does that make sense, Colette? That makes sense to everybody? All right. I'm about running out of steam here. So,
yeah, it makes sense, Joe.
Yeah. And then the rest of it is just filling out the name of the trustee and the beneficiaries and all that type of stuff and getting everything notarized. It's very simple. Very simple. Very simple. Any questions about anything we spoke about tonight or otherwise? Any comments? Any questions? Anything?
I have a question, Dragon. How would a allodial title versus the trust of beneficiaries?
A allodial title, how would it?
Varies. I mean, is it anything that's above the trust?
No. So a title, remember we got 5 things we deal with when we doing this. We got an offer contract where we have to make an offer on the property. We have the purchase contract where once the seller and the buyer agrees to the offer, we write up what's called a purchase contract, where all it says is seller agreed to sell, buyer agrees to buy. We have the deed. Okay, so what you're talking about is an allodial deed. Okay, or they call it an allodial title. So what that means is that's its own contract. It has nothing to do with the trust. Okay, so it's just like the trust has nothing to do with an offer letter. Okay, so the title, if you want an allodial title, which basically means nobody can tax you on it or take it away from you, you're the owner. Not even God could take it from you, kind of thing, is what's said about allodial title. But now the down thing about having an allodial title on your property is that you can't get any public benefits. You can't get any public utilities, water, mailboxes, the police not coming on your property, nothing.
Oh yeah, and the ambulance. I remember you said that.
The ambulance, nothing. But
so you wouldn't recommend it?
It all depends on your situation. If you pretty much don't ever want an ambulance or anybody or anything on your property, you don't want mailboxes, you're completely fine with not having anything to do with being assisted in any way. You can, have an allodial title. But if you know one day you might need an ambulance on your property, one day you might need the police to come out there to help you, you need to collect your mail.
It's like living off the grid for
real. Yeah, once they look up your property and they see that you're your own country or whatever, by having a allodial title, because you gotta remember, you're not paying any taxes, so you're not paying for the ambulance and the police and the mail people to deliver your mail. You're not paying for anything, which that's what taxes are supposed to be for, which, a percentage of it is for that, but we all know they overtax us, and stuff, but that's a whole nother video. But nevertheless, yeah, if you have an allodial title or you want an allodial title, then you can have that. And if you want to put it in a trust or not, that's up to you also. So just because you have an allodial title doesn't mean you have to have it in a trust, and it doesn't mean you don't have to have it in a trust. In other words, the one has nothing to do with the other.
Okay, thank you.
That answers?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions? And guys, if somebody asks a question and I didn't answer it the way it conveys to you, ask it again. It doesn't matter. Ask it again. All right. Any other questions? Any other comments? Everybody straight for tonight? Enough information for the night? Let it marinate?
Yes.
Yes. All right, guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. You know that.
And, love you too. Love you too.
And
have a peaceful evening.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
See you in class next Tuesday. I mean Sunday. Sunday. Okay, yeah, let's just stay on Q. Oh, you know what? I'll make a new chat. I'll send a new link to Telegram. All right. Gotta do another meeting. All right, y'all. That's how we get down in the mastermind. All right, get in there. I'm telling you, get in there. 754-229-0940. 754-229-0940. Anything, we got a package for anybody. We got a package for everybody. If you can put $25 in your budget, we got a package for you. All right. We do have a lifetime membership, $444. $444. Okay. Get in the mastermind. If you don't have the $444, we work with you. 754-229-0940. Thank you, Peter. HCC, Man Without Prejudice. Love you guys. Peace.